Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another day, another dollar. We're going to be breaking it down once again, looking at the E-minis. We're going to be starting from the top down here. We're going to go from the monthly to the weekly down to our daily time frame. And then from there, we'll look at our 30-minute intraday time frame, where we'll kind of break down a little bit more technical, give you guys some destinations, and kind of update you. I did not post a video on Friday as I had my little sister in town, and I was just trying to entertain her the best that I could. So hopefully she had a great time while she was here. Other than that, not a whole lot has changed as far as big picture goes. We are still moving up in the monthly. In the weekly, we're still moving up. The daily, on the other hand, is balance. Okay, so and that just means we're just consolidating. We're just bouncing back and forth between this price range of about 4650 to pretty much 4500. It's a pretty large range. We haven't quite figured out which direction we want to go. And consolidation isn't a bad thing, but eventually you would like to see either, especially for us traders, you'd like to see either the highs go or the lows go, and then if we do take out the lows, then put the weekly into a balance, and then maybe start stepping it back down. One thing to note is how we have gotten that March high. That was our ultimate target, March high from 2022. We got it by just a couple of points, by about 2 points. We got that high by, and then so far we've backed off and been finding some pretty significant consolidation around the 4600 level. So battling that level, unlike the 4500 level where we kind of just blew through it. But the 4600 level, we are battling pretty good over the last several days and weeks. Something to note, we are coming up on the all-time highs from January of 2022. And if I were to measure from our recent highs to that high, you're looking at about a 3.5% move to the upside left in order for us to get that all-time high. Now, my thought process is we are approaching a pretty significant level, okay, 4600. Above this area here, as far as a target, there isn't one, so this might be an area where swing traders who got long anywhere in this area here, or once we broke out, this is an area where they would be begin to look to take profits. And then anybody that did, that were a bit of a laggard, that did catch the move, may also be hitting this target to take some profits off the table as we are approaching the all-time highs, right? If you were a swing trader, you would want to do the same thing. So maybe that's why we are finding a bit of resistance here, as well as some confusion and some indecision. So as we approach this area of 4800, if we do get around that area, it will be very interesting to see how we react there. Do we double top, kind of like we did here, or do we push up and push through it with no problem and begin setting all-time highs once again? So those are things you can kind of start to speculate a little bit, but however, there's a lot more work to do to the upside. Still 200 more points to the upside that we have to push up. If not, then this market could just as easily roll over on the monthly and then back test this 4300 level, which was where our larger balance was at the time, where all this consolidation was. So you could see us back test that, maybe come into some type of consolidation on the monthly prior to setting new highs on the year, or maybe even going into the new year. Still a lot of time left in the year, but we are closing out the month of July on a really good note, right? Pushing up, closing out on a positive note. Volume, on the other hand, has dropped off. Now let's go ahead and look at our weekly. Look at our weekly here. And this is our weekly with our monthly destinations. You can kind of see that premium gap is still holding. And we've been one-time framing up on our weekly time frame for about 3 weeks in a row now. After that inside week up, we've been one-time framing up 3 weeks in a row now. This week being the third. However, would not be surprised to see if this week, becomes some type of inside week. and just consolidate inside, and then potentially put ourselves into going from up to balance going into August. So let's see how this closes out. Still one time framing up, so odds favor us taking out last week's high at 46.3350, and above that, your next high would be this high here at 46.6050. So, and I believe I have that marked. Do I have it marked? No, I do not have that marked. So I need to mark that there, this weekly high here. Let's go ahead and mark that on our chart so we know what our next target to the upside is. 60.50. 60.50 is going to be the next target. 60 or 660.50. And this is going to be target number 4, because we've already hit 3 of those targets. So let's see. Do we push up and get that 4660.50? Continue the one time frame up on our weekly. Daily time frame. Very interesting what's been happening on the daily time frame, especially after the Fed. Also, something I want to point out for you guys. We have multiple gaps. Multiple. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 upside gaps that have held so far. And, you know, gaps sometimes like to get filled. Not always. I'm not saying that we're going to pull all the way back, but I would like to see some of that poor structure, you know, kind of get filled at some point in time. However, daily, we are in a balance. We've been consolidating in this large range from 45, 45, 25. So 4,545, right, is the low of our balance. The high of our balance is that 46.3350 level. Okay. So we've just been consolidating in this large range from basically 46.50 to 45.50, and within a 100-point range, we've just been kind of chopping around. We had an inside day Friday, very low volume, and I'll show you on our intraday what we've been doing exactly. Is kind of what we expect whenever we have a big trend day down or up. Sometimes you tend to fill in areas where there was no volume and where there was you know, just poor structure. Sometimes we come in, repair that structure, put in volume there before the next move. So today, not very much, you know, another very small day as far as range goes. I did not trade yesterday or today, and I did not trade Friday. However, this market is still trying to push up. We are in a balance. So, you know, balance rules will be in effect if we approach that 46.3350. Look to see if we fell there. And one thing you would be able to note is if we pushed up into the upper distribution from that trend day down there on the 27th, if we pushed up into it, could not find acceptance, that would be getting near that 46.3350 area and then rolling over. Same thing for the downside would be, do we take out this low and get our balance low and then finally push through that 20-day moving average? If we did that, then the weekly would eventually go back to balance. So let's keep an eye on that. You have the 50 creeping up. You have the 200-day moving average creeping up. So all positive things. We like to see it. Did not mean to click that. Let's see if we can't get that back. Meant to click that. All right. Let's go ahead and look at our larger time frame here. I like this. Hold on. I like this setup better. So, as you can see, I did not do my homework from Friday because I was busy over the weekend as well. All right, so you can see how I have all of these areas marked from that trend day down here, right? What we've been doing is within this area, we've just been repairing poor structure. You can see how all this volume is gone here, or there's no volume, and now we've been packing in volume there. So if I delete all these sets of single prints here because they are no longer there, If I delete all the sets of single prints and then highlight this whole area that has very low volume, you'll see we've been basically trading within that area, just packing in volume there. Been trying to creep up into the upper distribution, and that upper distribution being where I'm about to highlight now. This is where the initial distribution or the initial range of inventory was, right? So if we push up into this area here, come tomorrow or any day this week, that would be getting near our balance high. Remember that 33.50, that would be our balance high. And then pushing up into this upper distribution right here, or this area of resistance. If we were to push up into this area here and then not find acceptance, get rejected out of it, that would be rule number one, right? We're getting near that balance high and then rolling over. So you could see something like us push up into it, right? Find a little bit of consolidation, if it'll let me, and then, reject out of it. That would be kind of a scenario that you would see. Or you could see us basically find consolidation within it, right? Find some consolidation and then find acceptance and then break out of the balance to the upside. That would be another scenario, right? So that would be things that you would want to look for in this upper distribution. Now, something I do have marked here is what I call the highest accepted price. We opened up in B period at 28.50. We pushed up to 29.50, just 1 point. So that is an area of interest for me, is that 29.50 area. Do we push up into it and reject off of it, right? Or do we get there and then roll over? That's where one auction ended and another began, right? It was the auction to the downside. Phil, let me select this. Hello. Get rid of that. So we've just been consolidating within this area where we had poor structure, basically. We've been creating a wide point of control. We had a wide point of control on Friday. 10 wide. We traded through that today. We took out Friday's high. I need to mark Friday's low, as I do not have that marked. And then today we go out with today's high, today's low, and then a 11 wide point of control right here at 07.50 is where I have that 10 wide point of control. So let's go ahead and mark these destinations for you. So we did take out Friday's high. We didn't get much for it when we did take it out, but we did take out Friday's high and then sell off pretty good, which was a good risk reward short against the overnight high as well. So there were some opportunities to take trades, even though, it was choppy. Definitely not my type of trading I like to be in, especially when it comes to dailies coming in balance, especially when it's long periods of balance. I tend to trade less, or I learned to trade less, as I used to just kind of hop in and get chopped up, trying to think with a bias instead of taking into context what is actually happening. So proud of myself for kind of staying out of these choppy zones, especially when we're in a balance, right? If you're somebody that is a day trader that gets caught up in these choppy price actions, then maybe you should take a step back and understand why you're getting chopped up, right? It's poor risk reward. It's not the best risk reward trade setups. There are setups that you can take, but you have to be quick about it, right? You can't allow yourself to have a bias, right? You can't be like, oh, I'm buying the low today. We're going to go set a new high on the day and then go trend up, right? You need I faded the extreme, right? I faded the extreme. My goal is to rotate back into point of control, which was at 07 right here, or 08, right? So you bought 98, 97, 99, anywhere in that range, and then you rotate back up to 08, which was a great risk reward trade, right? You put your stop a couple points below 99 here, so maybe you choose 95, you use a 5-point stop. Your goal is to get back 8 points, 10 points, right? So roughly a 2-to-1 trade, or a slightly 1-to-1 trade, That's what I'm saying. It's not the best risk reward trade setups that you have on choppy days like this, but nonetheless, it is a trading opportunity. I need to mark this 28th, but that's what I mean by trying to stay out of choppy days. Not that there isn't opportunities to take trades, but I just prefer not to take those type of trades. Mark today's low of day, 97.75. And I hope you guys find value in these videos and are following along. If you ever have any questions, please feel free to ask down below, and maybe I can better explain something or give you guys a link to something where you guys can, maybe find somebody who can teach you a little bit better than me. 0750 is our 11 wide point of control, and what I mean by that is there is 11 time frames out of 13 that traded back and forth through this 4607 area. This is where buyers and sellers were happy to meet in the middle right there. So that is all we go out with, right? We have today's high, today's low, 11 wide point of control, very choppy price action. Like I said, there were opportunities to take trades here, but not your best risk reward trade setup. What I'm waiting for is for us to get near this balance high and do that scenario that I suggested where we reject it again, or do we push through it and then finally start to go trend to the upside, which is when I would like to be involved, or do we take out the downside and then go trend to the downside, eventually getting back to this 9 wide point of control and back testing 4,500, kind of have a trend day like this where I can get involved would be really, really nice. With all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Before I forget, let's give you some upside destinations. What am I forgetting? So if we open above the 11 wide point of control at 4607, you would look to take out today's high of day at 4619.25. What has the market been trying to do? The market has been trying to move up higher. So maybe we retest this upper distribution that I highlighted earlier and then look to test all these price points. We do have that 2-tick set of single prints, so we could push up through 4619.25. From there, your next target would be to fill at 4625.50. Above that, highest accepted price 4629.50. High of day, balance high, and then yearly high. Well, actually, yearly high has been set in the overnight session, but RTH yearly high 4633.50. To the downside, if we open above, can't take out today's high or don't get much for it, look to rotate back down into 4607.50, chop around there a little bit, take out the day's low. You'll look to trade down to 4588.75. Below that, let me get rid of this price probe. Below that, you literally have nothing but a vacuum till 4553.75. There's nothing below you holding this market up as far as support for a solid 30 points to the downside. So if we do take out this low here at 4588.75, have your hard hats on, because your next downside destination, I would not look to be a buyer. With all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here around. Hopefully you learned something, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.